Come si finanzia una rivoluzione nel mondo di Star Wars? E soprattutto come si fa a creare una serie prequel di un film prequel di un altro film che è sequel e prequel nello stesso tempo? Ecco, tutto questo l'abbiamo chiesto a Tony Gilroy, il creatore di Andor, e ai suoi interpreti Diego Luna, Adria Arjona e Stellan Skarsgård. Hi Tony, hi Stellan, nice to meet you.
Good morning.
Hi Adria, hi Diego.
Ciao.
Diego, how is it for you? I mean, you started with the movie. Now you know everything about this character. What can you tell us? And there is anything that you would have done differently in the movie now that you know him better?
I don't think so. I see it the other way around because I did the movie. It was very exciting to tell the backstory, because of the movie we made, because of that ending, It was very interesting to go back and fill the blank spots, like the idea of having such a dramatic ending makes, as an actor, every second now that we tell in this story very exciting, full of tools for me to work with. Every relation matters, Every promise he makes has a different meaning for you and I as audience because we know the ending, and that makes or brings complexity that normally you don't have as an actor to work with. You start knowing the beginning very, very well, and more in TV today. They start every project knowing what the beginning is, but hoping the end never comes, and they do another season and another season. And for us was the opposite. It was beautiful because it's the feeling of a very long film, because we know the ending and we're all working towards that ending, aiming to get there. So I wouldn't change anything. I think that's what makes this show unique and so rich.
Yeah, I agree. I just finished watching all the season and it was amazing. The story is finished finally. I noticed a lot of reference to like human history, revolutions, and how tough it was to adapt it on the Star Wars world or rules.
The rules of Star Wars are, the physics of it, how people travel. It has its own playbook for things you can do and not do. But after that, it's a revolution. It's an authoritarian government. It's an insurrection that's trying to build. And as you say, there's just all these things through history just naturally can fit inside of that. The technology is different. So instead of sending carrier pigeons, there's holograms. No, it fit rather comfortably.
Stellan, you are a very experienced actor, and we often talk about what's behind the production or of a movie or a series. Is there any anecdote on the production that surprised you or that was funny or that you recall you would share?
I wish I had that kind of memory, but I can say that the entire shoot was amazing. We had a lot of fun, and it was of course very exotic during the pandemic. We were shooting, and London was totally closed down. There was only 3 or 4 people at the hotel, you included.
There's a period of time when the set was the only place that people could go and socialize.
Yeah.
There was nothing else going on. Yeah.
And we know Andor's ending, but we don't know Bix's ending. I mean, we were resigned because we know where Andor is going to, but we don't know Bix, and it was pretty much tense. How did you leave it, Adria, like bringing this character along?
It's been one of my favorite sort of journeys that I've gone on with the character. I've never spent so much time. I've never spent 6 years with a character, and you become incredibly attached, not only to the character, but to the world and to the creators of the world and to the people and the community that you sort of build. But this specific season, going on this journey and, Big sort of finding herself again was a journey that I was really excited to go on, and feeling herself coming back to who we all know and love as Bix was also really interesting, and forming and exploring a relationship more in depth with Cassian was also probably one of my favorite parts of this show, and building that and experiencing those tiny little quiet moments, and that it almost feels like you're taking a little peek into their world, and you get to understand these characters so much more, and those were some of my favorite moments, and You know, the last day on set was the only day on set that Tony was there for me this season. We were in a strike, and so it was pretty emotional and surreal for me to, you know, to have him there for that last piece. It was the last 2 days of filming for that last piece, and my saying goodbye to Bix was the only time that Tony has ever directed me, and it was kind of full circle in a way.
The Luthen character, it's a very surprising character to me because he's a revolutionary, but he has also conflict with other revolutionaries. He does things his own way, and I mean, it teaches that something can be done in different ways and not always can be, you know, totally aligned. So how did it come to be, and what was the meaning behind this character?
One of the things that I learned, well, revolutions need money. They need resources. People always forget that. Things aren't instantly, and there have been, you know, many cases of paymasters and funding and robberies, and how do you pay for your revolution? And it's always ignored. It was something that I wanted to take care of. I thought it was a fascinating idea for a character who almost doesn't have an ideology, but has the drive, you know, the need to overthrow the empire, and has been working quietly for 15 years, building up all these relationships. That gives me access to all kinds of characters. And the idea that he has an antique store, a high-end antique store in the center of Rome, you know, in the center of Coruscant, as a cover, wow, he can travel everywhere, and plus we could have this thing. It means this character has to have a secret identity. That was scary, and you know, and that was something that we worked on together to try to simplify.
And also, you said something about revolutionists. He meets other revolutionaries who have other ideas about how to do it, and there hasn't been one revolution that has had just one ideology.
Well, thank you very much. It was very emotional also watching it.
Oh, thank you.
It's a story very well told, and can't wait for a rewatch of Rogue One. Thank you very much. Ringraziamo Disney per averci concesso questa intervista super interessante e vi invitiamo a vedere Andor stagione 2 su Disney Plus dal 23 aprile. Inoltre vi ricordo di mettere like e iscrivervi al canale per supportarci e aiutarci a crescere. Noi ci vediamo nel prossimo video o nel podcast settimanale di CineFacts. E che la forza sia con voi.